Another question is, how do you get started? Have you ever tried pushing a car that won't start? You wonder if you can even get it moving. Then after a while it moves a bit, then other fellas come and they join in and help, and soon it's rocking along nicely, and then someone jumps in, puts it into gear, and off it goes in a cloud of smoke and dust. Then all the fellas fall around laughing. Well, it's a bit like that with what you decide to do. Getting it moving is the hardest part. That's what the video these fellas made was like. It was hard at the start. Some of them wondered if it was ever going to get off the ground. But once it got moving, other people got on board. Wow, it just took off. So they made more videos, basically showing the world where they live and what country means to them. Someone from overseas actually suggested they include some stories, some music, maybe some dances. So they thought about that and they did. And here's the amazing part. They didn't need money. They didn't need those white Toyotas from Darwin to show up and buzz off again. Everything they needed, imagination and the stories, they already had. All they needed was a framework to hang their ideas on. A framework that changed their thinking from there's nothing to do around here to here's what we can do. Maybe I can tell you a story. But before I do, I want you to sit back and relax. Close your eyes if you like and just concentrate on nothing more than your breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. Take deep breaths and breathe out all that stale air. Feel it going out. Another deep breath. Feel how good it is just to relax. You might remember in the first video I said something to do and something to look forward to is like fire in your belly, fire in the camp here, instead of rotten campfire smoke following you around and getting in your eyes. Well, it's a story from the spirit bird. The spirit bird flies high and can see for miles. They are called spirit birds because they are close enough to the great creator spirit that they can hear what it says. All the time talking ancient wisdom and stuff that makes sense. It always has and it always will. And they can see for miles because they wake up with the sun in the morning and use the sunlight to see what to eat, where to go and what to do. They were born to fly and they just love to do that. They were doing what they were meant to do. Spirit birds always eat well. They love fresh meat and only have roadkill when there's nothing else around. They leave the roadkill for dingoes or birds that can't be bothered getting good meat. Spirit birds are clever, very clever, because they see the smoke way off in the distance and they know when the burn-offs are happening, there is lots of good tucker on the move, plenty of fresh meat. Sometimes they even start fires. They pick a twig off out of the fire and fly to another spot and then drop it into some nice dry pandanus grass, and then another fire's going, more fresh meat. Then they find a good tree, settle down for the night with their mob, ready for the next day. I was out in community a while back. I have friends there and they wanted to talk with me. Things were pretty bad. Kids not going to school and running amok at night. Men your age on grog and gunja and fighting. Stuff getting broken and people getting hurt. Crazy stuff. You may remember me talking about Lisa, the grandmother looking after her grandchildren after her daughter was killed, ran into a tree. She told me she was beaten up pretty bad, face all cut and swollen, eyes she could hardly see. Anyway, she dropped the kids off at school early. She didn't want to walk back home in case people saw her face. So she went bush for a while. Yeah. Going bush, she told me, was where things made sense. Stuff was growing like it should, animals doing what they always have done, birds, she'd always loved birds. Well, they just do what birds do. They fly, sit in the tree, walk across the ground, swim over the water, going places wherever they want to. They live free, especially the spirit birds, because they know stuff and they talk. Lisa was hoping they would show up this day. They wouldn't need to ask about the swollen face. They would already know. They can't see at night, but the owl can, and so can the emu of the night sky. And of course, the great creative spirit sees everything, in daylight and at night. And they all talk to each other. They have done ever since time began. So that's why they know stuff, and they're so wise. Ancient wisdom. Stuff you won't find on the internet. Anyway, Lisa said a spirit bird showed up and came close, just being alongside her, no need to talk. Lisa started to cry, and the bird came a bit closer. Still nothing was said. Just feelings of understanding and being understood. Stuff all making sense. After a while, Lisa just asked the spirit bird, "Why is everything so screwed up?" The spirit bird didn't answer straight away. Just waited until Lisa had stopped crying. Then it talked to her. This is what it said. "When we see smoke, we don't let it get in our eyes. We fly higher and away from it. We watch where the wind blows and the fire and get ready to have a feed on the animals running away from it." "Have you ever noticed campfire smoke?" it asked Lisa. "It does 4 things. It stings your eyes so you can't see. It follows you around when you try and move away from it. It makes you cough instead of breathe properly. And it turns you into walking crazy people, head down and tripping over things." Campfire smoke is like that. And the camp is like that too. Mob can't see properly. They can't get away from it. Heads down, can't breathe properly. Smoke everywhere. Makes good fellas do bad things. The camp smoke is because the fire has gone out. The flames that let you see at night and warm you on cold nights have died down. That's why there's so much despair and sadness. The spark of light and the breath of life have gone out, and just now that awful smoke following you everywhere you go. You can't see properly and you can't get away from it. The spark of life and the flames of light come from meaning and purpose. Life making sense and a reason to do stuff. Too many of you not sleeping at night and sleeping during the day. But this doesn't work for you. You're not owls, never will be, so don't do that. It makes sense to do day stuff when the sun is up and night stuff when it's not. Day stuff is proper food and doing things so brain is fed and thinking is clear. Chips and grog is easy, but means the brain doesn't work properly. Life doesn't make sense. No reason to get up, so sleep some more. No purpose in life means kids are bored and run amok. Fellas not thinking, so more grog, no friends, lots of fights. Night is for a fire burning properly, like this one. Flames reaching to the night sky. It's like when you put that old dry branch with lots of leaves on the fire and whoosh, up into the night sky. Watching the fire die down is time for sleep. Somewhere safe, somewhere with your mob, just quiet talking because the little ones are already asleep. At peace, not fighting. Sweet, sweet dreams, not horrible ones. Then wake up with the daylight, ready to start, straight looking about, doing what's good. Good stuff. Get the fire lit again. Keep the fire burning. It's like good food and good sleep. A proper balance between day stuff and night stuff. That's when life makes sense. It has meaning and purpose. This is the wisdom of the spirit bird. It's the wisdom of our mothers and fathers, our aunties and uncles of long ago. The spirit birds and others have kept it alive by eating during the day and sleeping proper at night. I know it is true because it is the wisdom of the country, wisdom of the great Creator Spirit. Lisa's face was still swollen, but her mind was clear. She had so much to think about. It was like she had a map showing her the way forward.